let's talk about what this deal means because it answers a couple of huge questions. Firstly, if you're wondering what Dropout's going to do with all this growth, because they've talked so much about how this is the most profitable they've been, even thinking about college humor times, we have some of those answers in this deadline piece. The goal being to expand into new revenue streams, expand their IP off platform, reach new audiences, diversify distribution, and support the core business with talent and content partnerships. So when we're thinking about how Dropout is going to monetize without sacrificing things like quality, without sacrificing the viewer experience that they've been so, determined to keep in line with their ethics and values, like CAA is the partner that's going to help them kind of navigate those things while still growing Dropout into being the leading, streamer on the internet. And this is all coming off the heels of news 4 days ago that Mythical is also a new client of CAA, which is huge. How does Dropout stack up beside something like Mythical? Well, in the Deadline article, like how they're positioning Dropout to people that don't know, look at this list of names that they're pulling. These are all from very important people. Season 2, which if you listen to the podcast, I've talked at length about how important the season 2 lineup of very important people was in terms of positioning Dropout within the comedy TV space. Like having this lineup of names associated with very important people associated with Dropout is more important than the in-house talent that they are building and scaling themselves in a lot of ways, because people will tune in and flip new subscribers for these names. Like people will come watch the show for the first time to see John Early, Kate Berlant. This is something that's like really significant here. Additionally, at the very bottom of the article, which you might almost miss because it's sandwiched in between a bunch of ads, notable Dropout projects include Game Changer, Smarty Pants, Make Some Noise. So when we're thinking about like what is top billing Dropout programming, it's very important people, Game Changer. We all obviously already knew that because those were the shows that were getting the biggest Emmys push. Smarty Pants, we knew this because Reka's been doing specifically a lot of press as like the host of Smarty Pants, so we know that's one that they're kind of like raising up the flagpole a little bit. Make Some Noise, we know has been in the top for a minute. And the last big question that this answers for me, I've talked a lot on the podcast about where the touring model for like Dropout Live kind of fits into the bigger Dropout picture after, there was interviews with Sam where he was saying that like the touring model isn't like super of interest to him. Like I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but essentially like touring was not the premise or point of Dropout. It was like the shows and the streamer, and touring was like a thing that they were adding into the rotation as like a different section, but not the priority. But CAA is known as one of like their verticals for music and comedy touring. So I do feel like maybe there's some synergy between the expansion of what could be Dropout Tours, Dropout Improv Live, like that whole like business segment, how that can scale, how they can like rotate cast in and out. And maybe that's something that we see grows with like this new era of being signed.